All right, let's get into the card. We got a big one for this week. A lot of weeknight games again, starting with, of course, Conference USA action. Sam Houston State and Florida International. Sam Houston State, about a 5.5-point road favorite in this game, 46.5 the total. Sam Houston, a couple of those games last week for me. I'm on teams that lost their quarterbacks to injury, last week on the same night. Sam Houston and Florida International, both of these teams, and they're facing each other here, they lost their quarterback early in the game. Hunter Watson got injured for Sam Houston. Jace Bauer came in, and the offense couldn't do anything after that against Western Kentucky last week in that very, very important game. So that was disheartening. And then Florida International against UTEP, Kewan Jenkins goes down early in the game. They go to their backup, who was awful for the rest of the game, and there they are getting beaten by UTEP, who had been terrible prior to last week. So both of these teams had to deal with losing their starting quarterback to injury early in the game last week. If you're looking at this week, the quarterback status for both of these teams, it's looking like for Sam Houston, Hunter Watson is questionable, hasn't been ruled out. It's going to be a game-time decision for him. Same goes with Kewan Jenkins for the FIU Golden Panthers. He left that game very early against UTEP. Amari Jones took over. And the funny thing about Amari Jones is he also got banged up and left that game late. So they ended up being down to Hayden Carlson at the end of that game at quarterback for FIU against UTEP. So they actually got down to their third-string quarterback. The problem I have with Florida International, and I like them usually in the underdog role, but I don't know if this is a good matchup. They cannot stop the run still. The run defense is a big problem for Florida International. You're going to get a heavy dose of that from Sam Houston State. They run the football quite a bit. They're pretty good at it when they're on their game, and I think that's probably a tough matchup. To me, the matchup screams Sam Houston. They probably could have won that game if Watson doesn't get hurt, but you could see there was a big drop-off. Bauer came in, and the offense just stopped for the Bearcats last week against Western Kentucky. If they have Watson back, awful loss. They are still the better of these two teams. I could make a case to lay the points. I don't know if I will. I think I like the over potentially more. But again, for that to happen, I need Jenkins in at quarterback for FIU because the two guys that were in that game against UTEP last week were terrible after Jenkins left the game. So if it's Jenkins, I like the full game over. Jenkins doesn't play. I probably like more the team total over for Sam Houston because I think they're probably going to end up putting up points and run the football with a great deal of success against a pretty soft, pretty poor FIU run defense. So what do you think here, Connor? Sam Houston, FIU.
Oh, man, yeah. These are got kind of an ugly one. And it is because you mentioned the quarterbacks being out. It showed in the second half when Watson was out. I mean, it was a total difference. I mean, Bauer, he threw for 100 yards. They didn't do anything. They did not score. And Western Kentucky, 14-0. I leaned their way, but obviously, you don't know Watson's going to get took it out. And it wasn't a game I bet in the end. And same with Florida. After Jenkins goes, then they get down to their third string, and the offense just can't do anything. And then you let a team like UTEP, who hadn't scored 30 all year, score 30 on you. You know what I mean? And they were able to do it. And Saul, 200 pass yards from Locklear back in. I mean, 160, but they had about 200 on the ground. Jackson had a big game for UTEP. So this is tough. Normally, like last year, this game was tight. I believe it went to OT in this one. And Jenkins didn't play. Did he play? I had this up earlier real quickly while I glanced at it. Did he play for effort? He did.
Yep. He did.
He did.
Yep.
190 and a touchdown.
Yep.
So just the question marks the quarterback in this game. Like it's a little tough to kind of handicap and give it to you. And I think Florida International, if they're not playing and maybe Watson does play, take him. See if you can get in on Sam Houston. I mean, if he doesn't play, then yeah, this game could kind of just be an ugly one. But I couldn't take FIU. I think you'd be more than a touchdown, maybe to look even their way. So a tough one. As we see in teams like Sam Houston, just a little bit different, been okay, more at home, better at laying points. You start laying almost a touchdown on the road. It's not always the best spot for these teams that aren't great. So look out. A lot of injury, a lot of watch for this one till tomorrow,
Yeah, and this game's Tuesday night, so it's tomorrow night. This gets the week started.
Right.
One of the games on Tuesday night, so make sure you keep that in mind. But definitely It's a situation where you want to keep an eye on the quarterback situation, really for both teams, because it's up in the air. UTEP, Louisiana.
And it's tough to get that info real quick. I mean, this is just to get information on who's playing in college football. You got to do the digging, and still, even that, these coaches are so tight-lipped. Do your best.
Exactly.
I do mine.
I follow a shit ton of beat writers from the Group of 5 conferences, and they don't even
Me
give
too.
me the help I need.
And they don't.
Because they don't hear anything. They don't hear shit from these coaches about playing status. It's one of the frustrating parts you got to deal with about handicapping college football. And if you think it's bad with college football, it's going to be 10 times worse once we get into college basketball. I mean, good luck with that. I mean, that is a sport where historically it's just you think someone's out, they're in. You think someone's in, they're out. It happens all the freaking time in college sports, especially basketball, which, of course, is only a few weeks away as well.